Well, it's 4 o'clock, and we welcome those of you who joined with us. Kara's just reminded me to press record, so we don't forget to record our session today. But we welcome you all to the next series of our DTL webinars. Today, we're pleased to have with us Janice Wintermyer from Canva, who's going to be talking with us. And we'll introduce her in just a second, but just wanted to share a screen with you for a second so you can see a little of what we have coming up over the next couple of weeks. Just a reminder that today we'll be spending the next 40 minutes or so with our friends from Canva, learning a lot about the great tools that have been blowing up in our district. We've seen so many of you using this tool over the last several months as we've got a free pro license that they've given us. Next week, we'll be talking about Nearpod and excited to show you some of the new features that are in Nearpod. And in case you weren't aware, we actually added a fourth in this series. We've got our friends from Apple who are going to come join us and talk with us about some of the features that maybe you haven't seen yet on your Mac and how you can use some of those features in your classroom. So we're excited to share that with you and kind of move us forward in that. So as we kind of get going over the next couple of weeks, we hope that you can join with us and share out the recordings for these webinars to the people in your building. So I'm going to turn it over to Janice. She's a recent transplant from Seattle who's now living in Nashville, and she's going to share with us some of the great features in Canva. So Janice, we'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to pop my presentation back up. I am so excited. I love Canva, and I'm so excited to share all the things with you. So I know we have about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, and then we're going to have some time for questions. So I will try to cover as much as I can in that time, and then definitely leave some time for questions, or if you want to see something again or see something that we missed, I'm happy to go back and cover that. But real quick in the chat, just as we get started, it would be great if you wanted to throw in there kind of when it comes to Canva, where you feel like you're at, and maybe even what grade level you're teaching, just so I kind of know who is in our meeting today. So if you're brand new, you kind of use it for yourself, but not with your students. You are like me and you are madly in love with Canva and you live in it all day, every day. Just kind of see where we're at in there. Kind of helps you know who was on our call. So that's super helpful. Love it. 4, but madly in love in a 4 or a 3 is still, you can still be madly in love with it. Absolutely. Love it. Good. Lots of coaches. Awesome. Lots of 3, 4s, and 5s. This is gonna be great. Y'all are gonna be. Oh, and a never heard of. I'm even more excited for that. I guarantee you could be a never heard of or a 5, and you will come out of this with something brand new. That's what I love about Canva. Always new ideas. Brand new 4th grade, 6th grade. Love it. Okay. Perfect. This gives me a pretty good sense of where we are. So I will do my best to get through kind of covering things for everybody. And then we will to have some time if there's something you're thinking about after all of this. There are some collaborative pieces too. So hopefully we are all excited to get a little bit of collaboration time in and some fun time in here with Canva as well. But I'm going to start by just introducing myself. So my name is Janice. I am a Canva learning consultant, which is so fun right now to be able to share my Canva love. My job is to really work with districts all over the place to help support them as they bring Canva into the district and are using it with students and for staff or students or whatever that looks like. So I'm dedicated actually to your district to be able to support you along with Colby, who I know is amazing at Canva. So I'm excited to have a partner with this district to see where we can bring Canva use with your students. If there's anything after this that you have more questions about or want to see more about, we can definitely work together with Jared and with Colby to kind of see what else we can make sure that you guys have support in as you continue to use it throughout the rest of the year. I do have a background in teaching. I spent 15 years in the classroom teaching English language arts, but primarily at the middle school level, mostly in 8th grade. And then I spent 3.5 years as an instructional coach for technology. But like Jared said, I'm a recent transplant to Nashville. So in December, I moved from Seattle to Nashville. So I had to leave my district, unfortunately, but was able to pick up this Canva role and am loving every second of it. So I've been using Canva since 2014 with my students. I started with Infographics way back when it was before all of the education stuff and before it is what it is today. So it's been fun to watch it transform, and I love it. And then of course, on every about me slide, I feel like everyone puts their pets. Of course, I'm going to put, that's my dog. She's 14 and a half, almost 15. She's a Jack Russell Chihuahua. She's actually sleeping behind me. So if you hear jingling, it's because she's running around. But she is enjoying our more sunshine in the South now. So she's outside a lot, which she loves. And then if you are on Twitter, you can follow me. I mostly just post fun stuff about Canva and stuff you can do, and retweets from our Canva team, who is amazing. So that is my Twitter handle there. And just so you know, I always like to point this out. I am running on 2 monitors. So if I look over here a lot, this is where my chat and where you are. So that's why I look in this direction quite a bit, because I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on our chat. If at any time, this is a lot of information in a short amount of time. So if at any time you have a question, you want to see something again, something's not connecting, please let me know. Either come off mute and just let me know, or throw it in the chat, and I will try to keep an eye on that as well. All right, so I'm going to kind of skim past this, but there are some new people in here. So just giving you a quick brief what Canva for Education is. Canva at its core is a visual communications platform. So anything you want to create for visual communication, you can do in Canva. What we love about it is it's so simple, but it's such a powerful creation tool. So you can make something look so professional with just a few easy clicks. It's really simple to use for students and for staff. The interface is really nice to be able to just customize colors, customize a design really quickly and really simply, but also really dig deep for some of those who really want that deeper editing features as well. With Canva for Education specifically, you have access to over 60,000 ready to use customizable templates geared towards education. And that number grows like exponentially every day. I bet it's over 100,000. I don't even know. This slide is probably old, but we have so many templates. I feel like every time I think, I wonder if Canva has this, they do. The answer is they always do. So you can pretty much find anything you need. And we're going to talk a lot about templates kind of as we move forward as well. Yes, these are templates that we like to highlight just a little bit as far as our education ones are concerned. So we obviously have presentations, which allow for a lot of customization in a different platform that's, beyond Google and Microsoft. We have virtual classroom kits, so you can design buttons and banners for your Canvas classroom or for whatever other platform you're using. We have lots of video right now. Our video editor tool is really picking up a lot of steam. We have some great, super easy to use video templates and video platform editor. You can make posters, infographics, lots of group work we're going to talk about, and we're going to practice some collaboration today so you can see what that really looks like. And then the other thing that often gets missed is there is also some forms of like content in here. So like SEL activities, other things around different, different days or different holidays coming up and things like that. We have some more content also based templates that you can search for as well. Like I keep saying, collaboration is amazing. I think that is something that Canva's really done a good job of promoting and bringing into the forefront. So being able to have students work together on a design, being able to work as a whole class, see in real time who's editing, and allow for that kind of collaboration and comment and feedback, which we're going to go over a little bit as well, really allows for that whole group piece, especially if you have things like interactive whiteboards in a classroom or you have ways to share out. Canva can work really well for that also. And we have LMS integrations and assignment workflows. So I know y'all are Canvas, am I correct? Canvas, Canva and Canvas. So I know you can connect the two and you can assign and have two-way passback along with that. And so that integration is really nice and streamlined. I did not include the slides in here, but can get those slides if you guys don't have those as far as what those steps look like. So logging in and signing up, it's like most of us are familiar, but we do have one or two who had not heard of Canva. So I want to make sure we can get logged in. If you're not already logged in and would like to log in so you can collaborate with us, that would be great as well. If you are brand new to Canva, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a different approach, if you're in like a ClassLink or a Google, let me know. But you can just go to canva.com and choose login. You can log in with an email if you're on SSO, or it should redirect you if you're a Google or a Google Waffle, look at that, even Google Waffle. So you can log in with Google and it should take you into that district login. If you already had a Canva account, like an EDU account prior to going district-wide as well, you want to make sure you're connected to the district account. So Canva is really great because it loves like Google to hold on to your login, but sometimes it's good to log back out and log in to make sure you are also connected to that district team so that you have access to be able to share and collaborate a little bit easier. Switching teams. So if you had an account before, or if you had an EDU account that you were using and you have designs in both, I leave these in here mostly because I share these slides out, but you can switch between the Jordan district team as well as your own kind of personal team if you had one before, using that upper right corner, or now it's also in the upper left in that box you can drop down. So you want to make sure you're in that district team working in that so you can share with staff and students a little bit easier. And then if you did have designs that were in your personal EDU, or if you had a pro or a different account before, you can bring those into the district team. It's kind of this 4-step process. And so you can open the design, get the template link, go to the new district team, paste the link, and it will make a copy. And I'll talk more about sharing and these different links a little bit later. But again, I leave the slide in there so you have access to it afterwards. All right, so let's have some fun. So I'm hoping we're all able to get logged in. I'm going to pull this link out from here. If we can get logged in, I'm going to put this link in the chat. And what should open is this fun collaborative farm scene. So just for fun to see if we can get everybody in and just starting a quick kind of dive into Canva. If you know how to use Canva, then you're pretty familiar with our Elements tab over here on the left. If you're new, you should have this Elements tab right here. You can start typing in anything you want to look for that you want to add to our farm and drop it right in. And let's see what this looks like. This is sort of the demonstration also of collaboration. So you can see at the top, I can see who is joined in real time. I can see when you add things, who's adding to our farm. So let's go ahead and add some elements to our farm. Give you a couple of minutes to kind of poke around and play in there. So you can see what this looks like as far as collaboration goes with multiple people. We like the little chickie. I always think it's so fun to see what people want to add. Sometimes I get some, so like I think last week I had a district and we had like sharks and things on our farm. You know, you never know what's happening over here. Oh, the rainbow, that's a fun one. I like that. And a dragon, of course, that's perfect. He's gonna cook our chickens over here. And just if you are new, or if you maybe are less familiar, we do have these fun animated elements. So when I'm under elements and I'm searching, let's say I want to add, what do we not have? A sheep. I can look for our static images. I can also filter for animated images and pull in, let's look under, oh, we don't have any animated sheep. Well, maybe not. Maybe some chickens. So now we have some animated graphics here that are moving. So you have some options for animated or just static, different graphics there. Well done on the layering over here. Our dress and our farm gal over here. I like that. That's awesome. That was a nice job. Our farmer over here. It's great. Love it. And some corn in there. Kangaroo. All the things. So this is super fun. For the person who added our real sheep, I'm going to come back to our photo options here too. So that'll be great. And we're going to use this slide. So make sure you leave this open as we move on. I might move on in just a second, but if you leave this open, we'll come back to this and practice one other piece in here in just a minute. Now that we're all on here. Awesome. Love it. Love it. So again, I can see in real time who's adding, what's happening in here. So students can work together. You could have multiple slides going. You can see what's going on. You also have full control to delete things. Because you know, middle schoolers, that happens too. So you can watch and delete and control as well as you are sharing. All right. So what can you create in Canva? So this, I love this slide. I love showing it because I'm sure this list has grown even since we built this slide. But I'm going to give you like 30 seconds or a minute to just look at this, especially even if you're a 5 or if you have never heard of Canva before. When you look at this list and you kind of skim over all of the things that you can build in Canva, and again, there's more than just this. what are some things that just kind of stand out to you? What's the first thing that grabs your eye, or things maybe you didn't realize you could do in Canva? You want to throw that in the chat. I would love to see just kind of what you gravitate towards, or what stands out to you as far as being an option to design in Canva. I'll give you about a minute. Yes, seeing charts. I know that's a fun one. My phone wallpaper designed on Canva. Infographics. Yep. I was a little bit of a late converter before I took on the Canva role with the slides, but I'm fully hooked. And if we have a lot of people in here who do presentations, I'm going to show you a great hack, if you didn't know, in a little bit, that's going to save you hours of time. It's going to be amazing. Covers. Anything else that stands out? Maybe you didn't know you could make it in Canva, or maybe as a student project idea seems interesting. I always think we really want to get this in the hands of our students as well. Comic strips. Comic strips were the bane of my existence as an ELA teacher, because there was never a great program to do that didn't cost a lot, or didn't have a lot of options, or wasn't spammy. Tons of great options in Canva. But yearbooks, the yearbook thing is really taking off. So it's really interesting to see how many people are starting to make yearbooks just right within Canva and then sending them off to print somewhere. It's pretty amazing what you can do with that. Circle stickers. So just like it sounds, like if you look up the template of a circle sticker, it's going to give you, you can print and cut stickers that are like these, that look like this, like, oh, this is going to be terrible with my background, I think, because it's white. So like circle size stickers. And I'll talk about that in just a minute when we talk about feedback too. I'll show you some tricks for that also. Super fun. I'll show you my favorite. It's really great. So these are ones I like to share. These are my top 5 favorite ways for teachers to use Canva in the classroom. So presentations, we had a lot of kind of conversation around presentations. Love presentations. You can also publish them different ways, and I'll go over this when I talk about publishing, but this graphic shows kind of a scrolling website. So not to like name our competitor, but similar to like Adobe Spark, you can kind of control the way that you publish a presentation in kind of a scrolling website, which is a great way to present information for our littler or younger students, or for families, or I did this a lot when I built guides for things or tutorials that you can embed video and then scroll through it. So I think that's great. We have a lot of online whiteboarding templates and graphic organizers that I think get missed, especially if you have any kind of interactive whiteboard or inking ability. So mind maps, KWL, plot mountains, Venn diagrams, you name it. We have templates for all of those, and they're really well designed. You can also then have students be building like a Venn diagram with graphics, not just text. So you add that other layer in there as well. Certificate stickers, bookmarks, those kind of coupons, classroom economic things, and rewards. One thing I love to highlight about certificates, and that I've seen done is really great, is you can use those certificate templates and build something to recognize a student or even another staff member. You know, we have a lot of specialists in here, so you could recognize maybe a staff member who did something great, or a student. You can also do a quick recording, maybe a 30-second recording of yourself, just telling them why you're recognizing them, and put that in there. So then you could email that home to families if it was a student. So it adds another layer of personalization to like a certificate or recognition. So that's kind of fun. And then we also have flashcards and card sorts. So like you could share out that collaborative link to have a card sort activity or flashcards. Those are also options in there as well. There are flashcards already created, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you mean by ML. ELL. You know what? I don't know the answer to that question. You could look into flashcards and see. I don't know if there are EL language ones in there or not. And then I just love to throw this in here just really quickly. These are 5 ways you can elevate student projects. So thinking about what Canva has to offer and taking kind of things to another level. So we all do, you know, lots of one-pagers and posters or flyers or kind of those static graphics. But Canva has t-shirt templates and mug templates. So you're still designing in kind of a rectangular space. You're still able to visually communicate the information you would put on a one-pager or a poster, but you can preview it on a t-shirt on a person. So it's just kind of fun, adds a different way to kind of view a project or look at something that they're creating in a different lens. So that's kind of fun. Infographics with custom data. So we can actually customize our data now. This is kind of newer in Canva, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Presentations, like kind of like I mentioned, being able to share them as a website or a video. Lots of video options, present and record, great for foreign language or music, other classes to explain thinking. Things like character analysis or historical figures. So if you have an assignment where you're doing a little bit of character analysis for a book, or you're doing historical figures, research, things like that, you could do an ID card. We have ID card templates or resumes. We also have trading card templates that I'm starting to see pick up some steam that are kind of fun to watch as well. So all of those are options, kind of create a resume for your character or your historical figure, something like that. And then written work, if they're doing a paragraph, an essay, they're gathering evidence of any kind. We have podcast thumbnails, so they could pull a podcast thumbnail, create their own kind of cover, and then record over it, kind of record their little podcast, them explaining whatever it is, and then export the whole thing. Kind of a fun twist on that. And there's more. I mean, there's a million things. You can record yourself in 2 different ways. There's resumes, anchor charts, choice boards, lists, planner pages. Like, you don't have to buy a planner. You can print really pretty planner pages right off of Canva, or digital ones for students to have access to on their devices or their phones, or checklists, things like that. Lots of options there. Okay, so we're going to do another quick collaborative activity. I am just curious, after that huge dump of information, let me throw this in the chat. We'll spend just a few minutes on this. It should look like this. So this is a brainstorm activity I pulled right off Canva and just edited the text a little bit. So after all of that information and that big brain dump, what is a template or maybe specific project idea that you're excited about that you could see maybe trying with students or sharing with other teachers if you're a specialist, and having them incorporate into their classroom? You can double click on text and just add your own thoughts. If you love something, you can drag one of these icons over and like shout out somebody or add an element of your own to give them some props to what they're writing. So I'll give you a minute to kind of think about an idea that is circulating in your head after all that information. Mm-hmm. Good question. There's a question in the chat on what template this is. I can tell you. Can I tell you? Will it show me? So I feel like it usually shows me what it is right here. Maybe it won't. Usually it does. Maybe I've edited it too much. I think it's called, nope, it's something hats, I think. This one, 6 thinking hats. It's this 6 thinking hat one. I just took one of the pages because I liked the text boxes and the way it was laid out. I think I looked up brainstorm templates and this is one of the options that came up, and then I just took one of the pages. And then I added the icons myself. Yes, I love the certificates. Podcasting, that's so relevant right now. I think that's great for them to be able to verbalize. Those are great for our kids who need to verbalize their thinking, not only write it. The live links, this is great too. If you have templates in Canva, you could share template links that will automatically allow them to jump into a template. So that saves them from the rabbit hole if you kind of want to keep it a little more isolated. Love it. I've seen some districts do these teacher trading cards. These are kind of fun. Flashcard certificates. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to show you some fun stuff with stickers in just a minute too. For anyone who follows me on Twitter, it might be a little buried, but I did just post a really cool, or if you want to follow me, a really cool, a friend of ours just did a podcast with her kids, and they designed everything, and then they shared them all on a Padlet. It was kind of a neat way to engage and be collaborative. So there's some great podcasting opportunities there. Love it. All right. In lieu of time, I'm going to pop back and keep going. I'm going to warn you, I'm going to kind of speed through this. So I know it's being recorded. I know you'll have access to it and you will have the slides. So, but I'm going to kind of speed through this just for the sake of time, because I do want to be able to show you some things. So I apologize right now that it's going to be really fast, but please throw things in the chat. I'll try to answer questions as we go too. We call these pro moves, things you can do in Canva to help keep yourself organized or that you might not know. You can set up folders. So if you want to keep yourself organized as you build designs, that Canvas space gets really crowded. So under it now says your projects, and then it says folders. So we've kind of changed the wording a little. But you can build folders, so you can folder and then share with a class. You could share with a colleague or a teammate and share templates together to be able to collaborate, or that they can then make copies of and use themselves. Students can folder their work and share with you, things like that. So you have access to folders just like you would kind of in a Google or a OneDrive, or if you guys are Google. So Google Drive, very similar with foldering and sharing. Sharing in Canva, I'm going to pop out because this button literally like just changed this week. So under the button up here, you have some options for sharing. So when I click on the share button, I can type in a person's name and share directly with somebody in my team. So if you're in the district team, that's why it's really beneficial to be building in that district team so that you have access to staff and students easily. So this is someone on our team. If I wanted to share with Amy, I could type in people. I can change whether she can edit, comment, or just view, add a message and share directly with her. I can also change the link sharing options, very similar to Google. So I can have people, anyone with the link can edit, view, or comment. So that's how I did our farm and our brainstorm. I took the edit link, copied it and pasted it, a bitly it, and then pasted it into our slides. So you can have an editable link here. You can share a view only link really quickly just by grabbing the link, or a template link. So if you wanted to force a copy, that's the template link. So if I wanted to share the beach with you, or the farm with you, but wanted it to be, you have to make your own copy, that's a template link. This is that scrolling website option. If you don't see them, these are ones I've been using recently. So that's why mine are populating like this right here. If you don't have them or you have different things, under the more options is where you will see a lot of these as well. So I can share and publish under more. And then there's lots of options under here as well. I can present and record. We'll take you to a recording studio where you could record audio over any design presentation, no matter what type of graphic it is. I can present any graphic. Social may be turned off for you depending on what you have access to. I can save things to drives. I can download them. Lots and lots of options. Mine is probably a little more full, but lots of endless things you could do here. Save them to folders, things like that. You can also download it, obviously as well. Depending on what you've created, it will give you what the suggested file type is, but you have lots of options, MP4 or video or a GIF if you have moving elements, PDF or pictures if you don't as well. So under that share button is really where all of those things live as far as sharing and publishing. I think my next slide is publish. So same thing, all of them now kind of live under this share button. Commenting on designs. So this is something I really wanted to highlight as well. So for a lot of people, you don't realize you can comment on designs. So commenting is great to leave two-way feedback for students, or if you're working with another staff member, we use it all the time as we build decks collaboratively. So you could go back to our brainstorm, or let's go back to our brainstorm. So instead of dragging these, you could also click on any elements. So you can click on the page as a whole, and there's a little comment button right here. I could also click on a specific text box and add a comment to just that text box. I can add a comment. I can add, if I use the @ symbol, I can add other people in my team. So I could tag somebody specifically, like if I want to leave it specifically for Amy or for somebody on my team. I won't, because it'll send her a million emails. But I can add any comments. I can choose comment. People can reply. You could reply back and forth. This little thing here that looks like, I think it looks like a taco, but it's like a rolled up sticker. You can add digital stickers as feedback. So that's where some of those circle stickers are also in here. So it's kind of fun if you wanted to leave feedback for students. I'll show you guys my favorite. Oh, where did he go? Oh, here he is. He says Bravocado. He's my favorite. I like this sticker. You can also print these. These are all templates under Canvas template, but you can add comments. So if you wanted to test it out, you can click on anything. You have this little bubble because you have an edit link. You also can share a comment only version of something where people can just leave comments, which is another great way to kind of collaborate. You have those comment features. When you're done, you can resolve them or you can edit or delete them. You can also leave reactions. Got it. Thank you for the feedback. We're good. Things like that. So commenting is really great to be able to share that and collaborate. And then hyperlinking, you can hyperlink into any design using the link option. I can link to an external source. Any recent designs I've been using will pop up here, or any other page in this document. So hyper docking or being able to build a table of contents, things like that. This is also useful for those who are building things like the Jeopardy games or the game board type things that you can build, same like you could do in Google or PowerPoint, you can also do in Canva. And then the last one, I'm going to go back to present mode to show you this. I'm hoping most of you have seen this, but if you haven't, y'all, these magic keys are so fun. In present mode, you can be in any design as long as you go to that present mode. So it could be a flyer, poster, or a presentation. If you hit any of these keys on the keyboard, it will do that action that it shows. So if I hit B, it will blur my screen. So maybe I want somebody to refocus on me for a minute. I hit B again and it goes back. Of course, my favorite, confetti. Love the confetti. So I can put confetti out there while I'm presenting. I can do a drum roll. This one always seems kind of random to me, but you can have bubbles if we need some calming bubbles for a moment. You can bubbles. You can shush people if they're talking while you're presenting. You can just shush them. The curtain call like opens and closes a little curtain, so you can start and end with this. These are great fun for kids too, to teach them. Of course, you can mic drop when you're done. Who doesn't want to end a presentation with a mic drop? And then I think probably the most beneficial are our timers. So 0 is going to be a 3-second timer. 1 to 9 will be any of those minute timers. So if I hit the number 1, I'm going to have a minute timer that just counts down. It lives up here. It doesn't make any noise or anything when it's done. You can pause or reset it, but it mostly just, you can't move it either, but it does just live up here in the corner and counts down. So if you're doing like a 2-minute turn and talk, you can just pop that timer right in and it will embed itself right here. You do get a ducky about halfway through. That's like the only thing that pops up, but the timers are really great. All right, I'm really going to skim through these two, but editing features, some things I want to make people aware of. Even our 5s, this is where a lot of people kind of learn some new stuff too. One thing that gets missed a lot is our More tab. So your side tab might look a little different depending on what you use in Canva. So mine is usually really big. I cleaned mine up a little bit today. Down here at the very bottom, there's this More option. When I click on More, I have all of these things here. So I have charts and folders and character builder and draw and QR codes. So real quickly, charts, if it's, or it might be out here if you've popped it out. When you click on charts, you have customizable charts with real-time data. So I can pick a chart. I can pull in data from a Google Sheet, or I can manually add data of my own. I can control the colors. I can control, it'll edit in real time. It'll adjust in real time. I have some control over, all of the pieces. Maybe I don't like the row. Maybe I want it to be stacked. I can switch it on the fly. I can resize it. This is great for, representing data. The other one that's in here that I love to highlight is these little people. So this is a Pictochart Pictogram. Let me pull this color out so it's a little bit easier to see. You have all of these icons to choose from. So let's say we're going to talk about water. So we have water drops. Maybe you're showing some data that's a percentage of how much water is used. Let's say you want 30 drops and you want 18 of them colored. I just type in those numbers. It instead of like copying and pasting and changing the color on every single one of these, you can do it just by using the pictogram. You cannot upload your own icons or anything, but I know, I wish there was more. I think they're working on building more. I would love like a heart or some other kind of simpler ones, but these are the only options that are there for now. And then spacing and colors, things like that. So that's charts. Folders. This is my hack for y'all, especially because there's a lot of users in here who are frequent users. If you are building presentations in here, if you've not seen this, if you go to folders, It's going to show you any folder that you have. It's also going to show you all of your designs or anything shared with you. So basically anything on your home screen you can find in here. So if I go to all of my designs, I can see everything I've been working on recently. So let's say I want to pop in my farm somewhere, or I want to pop in a slide from this webinar I'm doing, and I want you to see something. I can open it up. I can add a page right here. I can pick this and it pops that slide right in. So if you're combining presentations or you built a presentation and you want to build another one with similar slides, you don't have to have like 6 tabs open and be copying and pasting like I was doing for a long time. Or if you have a design somewhere, you have folders, you can pull in anything that was shared with you. Like if someone shared a presentation and you want to use part of it, and then you can pop things right into the design. So that's great. That's a great option for folders. We also have character builder here now. So the storyboard comic strip people who were talking about comic strips, you can build your own characters in here, customize characters, and have those consistent through a comic strip. So that's under our character builder. And then we have draw. So we also have inking now in Canva. So you can use a pen, different colors, different highlighters, size, transparency. And then you can ink right in Canva. So our math, our science, our littles who maybe just need to circle things or draw lines between things. These are all great options for inking. Interactive whiteboards. If you have it on the board, it works fairly well with most interactive whiteboards. So that is a great option for inking. That's under draw. You can pop a QR code in, a Google map. You have so many options under here. You can export and import right from Google Drive. Lots and lots of things. Under this more tab that get missed, so make sure you check those out. We have tables. Those are under elements now. So you can you can search tables and you will have customizable tables. Old school Canva users, we used to have to put the rectangles in and like type text in them. Now it's just like a Google Doc. Tables are right in there. You can build right in them. They're pretty amazing. And they're fairly customizable. You can add rows, delete rows, resize. Locking, actually pop back up for this one. Locking allows you to lock things. If you're going to share a template with somebody, like with our farm, the text up here is locked. So you can't delete the words or move these words or change them, but you can change other parts or delete the background. That's locked as well. Some people don't know if you have something that's unlocked, especially text boxes. This works on all text boxes. If I click it and I choose lock one time, I get this lock with a pencil. I can't move this and I can't delete this text box, but I can change the text. So this is great if you want to build a template and show where you want the text to be and then have them change it without totally changing the entire template. Very useful in group collaboration, group projects, things like that. Super great. So locking some of it, locking the formatting for some of it, having just a little bit of customization, not too much, also options. You can upload and convert PDFs. This is, I think, something that gets missed a lot. It's really magical. I have run into very few things where it doesn't really, know all of the things, but you can, it's actually under your homepage now. Under your homepage, under create a design, it says import file. You can pull in that PDF. It will magically find all the text boxes, allow you to customize the text. It finds most graphics and sometimes will allow you to change colors or resize, move it around, cut it apart. This is great for curriculum that comes only in PDF. If you want to jazz it up a little or take pieces out, you can import a PDF and convert that. And then our video editor, lots of video tools. It's built like a slideshow, but now you have these little plus signs in between that allow you to add transitions. We have lots of great video templates. So if you start with a video template, you have some of these like split and trim. I could do a whole hour on video editor. Amazing, amazing tools here to simply build in what looks like a slide deck form for students or staff, but be able to add audio, record yourself. You can screen record in Canva, right into Canva. So if you want to demonstrate something and pop it in, or students want to create a video and share their learning, super easy to do. Oops. The only thing that I took the slide out on, but we're kind of running low on time, and I want to make sure the last thing that you know how to do, so I'm guessing most of you do, but just in case, is there's usually a slide on this, but I took it out, is the background remover. So background remover for pictures. You can upload your own, or you can search something from our Canva library. I always pull this one because it works really well. So let's say you have a picture and you want to, like, this is me in my Canva shirt, but it is the side of my house. So that's not as fun. So I can go to edit image, background remover. Mine's up here because I use it all the time. Yours could be down here below. I click on it. It pops, it takes the background out. It's super magical. This is really great for like student projects. If you want them to put themselves into a historical time period, they can find a background. Like I did it with my kids. We did Bombed Out Berlin during World War II, and they were like news reporters. So they took a picture of themselves, and we stuck it in there, and they put the World War II background on, and they could put some text in here about what was going on. So I can layer if I want to put a picture of the beach and put myself at the beach instead of at work, just for funsies. I can do that too. So that background remover is a great tool under that edit image option. Pretty much that was kind of my speedy through that. But we're kind of at the point of questions. It's 5:40. I'm happy to stay around and answer or show things again. I don't know if there was a set end time that we're running up against, but.
No, you've been great, Janice. Thank you so much. Excuse me, if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to type in the chat, or you're more than welcome to turn on your microphone.
Something you want to see again, or something you haven't seen?
So can I ask for teachers, if they have their students log in on their Chromebooks and then they go to the waffle and they select Canva, how does the teacher have access to that? Should they have already created a folder? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how does the teacher see the student work easily?
Are you guys rostered, or are you just SSO'd?
Right. Oh, Colby, you want to answer that one? I thought I heard somebody jumping in.
I'm not sure what I think it's just SSO. I don't think it's like rostered.
Yeah, right now we are SSO'd. So if a teacher wanted to create a space with their students, they would have to kind of go in and create a folder that's shared with students.
Yep, thank you. So the two options are you can create a folder and add students to it, or right here, this is my team. So yours should say Jordan Public Schools, or whatever the name of your district team is here. This is ours. Under groups, I can create classes here. So I can create a group, title it whatever class, period, or grade level, or whatever it is that you teach, and then add students to it. I will say it's a little cumbersome right now because you have to add them one at a time, but we're working on that. But that is another way to add members to a group and then share things and have access, or students would have to share back with you either through Canvas or straight through Canva with adding you to the design kind of by name or some other way of sharing.
And the Canva option works really well.
You can work through Canvas, right?
Yeah, that works really well, you guys. If you want to create an assignment with a Canva template that gets shared out to all the students, it makes their own copy for them. It's really nice.
Yep. This one kind of shows, but it's like a quick set of slides. But yeah, you can create right in Canvas. It'll add a template link. You can put whatever you want in here. Students can open it up, create. They can submit it back to you right within their own window, and then it works in your speed grader. Where's my speed grader slide? And then you can grade right within too. So it's fairly, from all the LMSs, is actually probably one of the more seamlessly ability. And it works great with Google Classroom. Usually is a share option right here if we're using Google Classroom. Otherwise, it's under here. It pushes back and forth same way. Google Classroom is right here. So.
Are you able to show how to import an image or something into Canvas?
I don't have a I can't get into Canvas yet.
Oh, okay.
We're working on it. I don't have a Canvas account yet. So I can't. I have the slides. The only thing I have is like the slides here, which I am happy to share out if you guys don't have these, but
no, you know what though, right now, I bet Colby could share that real quick so everybody can see it.
Yeah, I don't have that option.
We'll let Colby take over screen share for a second. He can show you what that looks like, because I know he's one of the guys that's got that enabled. Bailey will let him do it, I think.
we'll see if she lets me do it. She's hungry right now, so she's.
Uh-oh, she knows what time it is.
We do have the slides that share how to do this. They're on our website, on the Canva page on our website, but I can hopefully get this to load and quickly show you.
When you say our website, what are you referencing?
So the digital learning website, so digitallearning.jordandistrict.org.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, are you seeing my Canvas screen? Is it showing my say world geography? Okay.
Yep.
So if I go to like an assignment, to create an assignment, as a teacher, I just have to make sure that I make the submission type an online submission and enable website URL. You can do any other ones you want, but it has to have the website URL selected. And then if I want to like have a template that I'm sharing with them, I can just use the plugin here, the apps, and it has Canva for Education. You'll have to search for it for the first time. And then if you want to use something like as a template, then you could click on that and then choose to either embed it or link it. So if it's something you just want them to see, you could embed it and then just do view only. But if you want it to be a template, then it has the new design for each student. So I embedded it, but it's also going to be a new template for each student. And then I save that. And what will happen for students is they'll be able to come and get that template by clicking the link here if they're using that template. But when they're ready to, oh, it's not published. When they're ready to submit it, what they will do is press Start Assignment, and then it has Canva for Education as one of the options up here. And they click on that, and then they'll find it within their Canva. They'll have to like log in if they've never done it before, and they'll just find their assignment that they want to turn in and click on that. And then they also, I don't know if they get this option or if this is just because I'm a teacher, but it might give them the option to either embed or link, but they're just submitting it, so it shouldn't matter. And then it will just give them, it will look like this. So sometimes, especially with the younger students, they're like, it's not there because it's just this link to their design, but you just have to tell them like, that is the submission. And then they submit that. And then they could check their submission details if they want right here. And it may not load for them on here, but it does load in SpeakWriter. We've checked it multiple times. It does work for us that way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Canvas is probably one of the better ones of like, you have the ability, it like lives in its window, like you can kind of stay in Canvas and do it. So it's kind of nice that they can also go out into Canva and create and things like that. But a lot of other LMSs, you're designing and then downloading and uploading and things like that. So you guys are super lucky that Canvas has got a great connection. I think that's a good option. Any other questions for me? Or things you want to see or things we didn't cover? Oh, the last thing, I didn't share this, but let me share this with you really quickly. I'm actually going to put this link, and I don't know if this got sent out today, Jared, but I'm also going to throw this link in the chat as well. We're hosting 2 webinars. I'm actually hosting them. So they are only for the districts that I support. So as a Canva learning consultant, these are just for people in my sort of realm of districts that I support. And we are kind of doing a different style of webinar. These are 30-minute webinars. They're a little more focused. So I'm doing one, actually the first one's on Thursday. It's on specifically on the design elements. So when you're designing something, kind of, we're going to go over a little bit of the background remover and element tabs, but really digging deep on how to make your designs really great and all of the tools you have at your fingertips in the just designing pieces. It's also something that might be really great. You'll get a recording of it as well. You could take that and share it with students for if you're not as confident in Canva or you have a staff member who's not as confident, but they want to help their students design. A lot of these tidbits could be used for student use as well. So it works for either. And then in 2 weeks, I'm doing one on 5 ways to empower students to be creators. So really thinking in the lens of a student creator, student projects, what options are out there for Canva and how to turn that into quickly into your classroom to be able to utilize that for student use. So those are options for you. They are limited to the first 300, but there's still lots of seats available. So the link to the flyer is in the chat, and then there's registration links for both of those. So it is me presenting. It'll be 30 minutes, and then you'll get a recording after.
Well, thank you, Janice. We'll make sure we share that out with people in our schools. So that's a fantastic resource. Any final questions from anyone before we wrap up today? Well, we appreciate Janice being part of our session today. And remember, next week, folks, we will be having another one of our webinar series. Next week, we'll be looking at some of the latest features in Nearpod. So if you haven't seen some of the cool things that are happening lately in Nearpod, there's some brand new features in the time to climb and a lot of different things that you can explore. We'll be back again next week at 4 o'clock. Hope to see you then. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.